Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Just moving some chickens today. We've had our chickens here for a good little while now. The purpose is we're trying to get them to eat the grass down as far as possible. This is where we're going to be planting some corn and other things to supplement our chicken feed this year. So we wanted to get the grass all down, all the weeds down. And I've got some grow bags that are full of soil that's got to be moved. But this is going to be our chicken feed plot this year. We're going to grow some corn and some other things. But we've got to get them moved to the winter garden or the winter spot. The shady garden is what I like to call it. It's where we usually plant our tomatoes and some squash and some other things like that. It's pretty windy today, so I'm just doing some voiceover. But y'all just sit back and enjoy us moving some chickens. If I catch y'all going to sleep one more time while I'm out here doing this work, I'm going to have to insert a video of some chickens running around or something to get y'all's attention. 'Cause I can't have y'all falling asleep. I got y'all over here against this building. Maybe y'all won't fall down this time, all right? So let's try this one more time. It occurred to me that if I hadn't been so lazy and I'd have just kept this clean, I wouldn't be having to do this right now. You know, while I was up here doing this. I got it all chopped down, by the way. Now we got to go get the wood chipper. But while I was up here doing this, I happened to notice I got some leaning blocks under my building. You can see that one back there. It's pretty bad. That ain't too good either. So might have to do a video here for long about fixing that. Yeah. We can't have my building falling down. I got too much junk in there. Hopefully you can hear me over this wind, but I've also got a lot of this wood right here that needs to be cleaned up. I'm probably not going to do that for a little while, but we had an ice storm last year that I can't really tell in the video, but there's a lot of down limbs and trees and stuff. We're gonna have to get that took care of, and can't get my hat straight, probably because my head's crooked, but we'll have to address that. I got a lot of junk right here that I gotta clean up and do something with. The problem is I ain't got nowhere to put it. So we might have to do a barn build. I need somewhere to put this stuff. Y'all ready to get in the pen? Yeah, they already know where they're going. Ain't got no gas in it. Okay, so I had a little technical difficulty with my wood chipper, so we'll have to take care of that another day. I got to take it apart and unjam it. So we're just gonna go ahead and put the fence up, put the chickens in. This is our tomato garden slash squash garden. This is the most shaded garden that I have, and during the hottest part of the summer, for some reason, everything goes really good here because of the shade. Now, I know that's controversial, but it gets so hot here that when you get that 110 degree heat index, the tomatoes start doing pretty poorly. So they seem to thrive in this part of the garden. So I put the chickens over the winter on here, and I take them off probably a month before we get ready to plant, and that gives the ground time to I guess it gives it time for the fertilizer to not be so strong. Because if you plant right after you take chickens off this, you're gonna burn your plants up. Chicken fertilizer is pretty stout, so you wanna get your chickens off at least a month before, maybe even sooner than that, depending on how many chickens you have. I got 19 chickens that's going to be in this part, and that seems to work fine with me. Everything's doing really good. We haven't burned anything up, but we like to do it this way. We don't fertilize anything with chemical fertilizer, triple 13 or anything like that. We don't use any of that. I used to plant traditionally, at least what we would call traditional around here. You plow up, with a tiller or a tractor, and you put your fertilizer, and then you plow it again, and till it, and then you row it up, and then you plant some plants in it, and that's typically what everybody does. And around here, everybody does fine with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We just try to do things a little more naturally. So if you do decide to fertilize with chicken, be sure to give the ground a little time to rest and let that fertilizer. Whoa, where you going there? Don't run off. I know I'm boring, but just stick around with me for a little bit. Let's put this fence up. So anyways, I was saying, if you're going to use chicken fertilizer, give your ground some time to rest, or compost it first. If you compost it, you shouldn't have any problems. And I do that as well. So, but this is the way we've kind of been doing it. It's kind of a lazy man's way of doing it. You take care of a lot of the weed problem, and you fertilize it at the same time. Also over here, I like to put my chickens, because there's a hill back here. You probably can't see it, but there's a hill that goes up and wraps all the way around. It's about, and the highest point over here is probably 35 feet above where I'm standing now, maybe a little higher than that. And that blocks a lot of the wind. I know today's not showing that, but the wind's blowing from a different direction today. But usually our wind comes out of that direction, and it gives the chickens a little bit of shelter from the wind. But anyway, let's get this fence up. Now, if you're the type of person that has to have things just perfect and has to have things come out even, don't buy a net that has an odd number of stretches or whatever these things are called. I can never, without overlapping, make my fence work out into the perfect square. I'm not going to say that I'm OCD or any kind of junk like that, but that bothers me. It bothers me a lot. So just make sure when you're buying one of these electric nettings that you make sure that's not going to be a problem for you. That, I'm pretty sure they do make the even number ones, and you can make a perfect square. I'm pretty sure they do. I did not pay attention. This is my first net I've ever bought. I ain't never thought about it. But it is aggravating. So if you are thinking about getting one and moving your chickens around, and that's going to bother you, keep that in mind. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and try to get the chickens back in this netting. So I'm gonna go get some feed and get them in there, and then I'll come back and do the corners. Now, for those of you who are wondering, I know you probably see the tractor right there, and you're probably thinking, why didn't you just take the tractor and cut them bushes and stuff down? Well, number one, that tractor is out of commission at the moment. I ain't got it fixed yet. B, I really would like to do most of the stuff on this channel by hand. Number one, I like doing stuff by hand. Number two, I think there's a lot of people that's just getting started that they don't have a tractor. You know, they don't have all this stuff, and you know, they just want to get started as simple as they can. And you know, it's helpful for them to see that, you know, you can do things with a pair of loppers, and you can do things, you know, by hand. I mean, you could plant a garden with a hoe if you had enough time. I wouldn't recommend that. But you can. So, anyway, and the third reason that I'm not using the tractor is, if I get anywhere on my yard with that tractor, there'll be ruts this deep and a lot of parts. I have very soggy ground out here, and almost anywhere in my yard would sink down probably 6 inches with that tractor. That's actually a really big tractor. I know you probably can't tell. It's about 115, 120 feet away from me, and it's a pretty good sized tractor. The wheels come up to about right here, so it's pretty heavy. So if you see that in the background and you're wondering, that's why. I done told y'all about that. I ain't taking that long. You ain't gotta fall asleep on me. Don't do that. That's pretty heavy. If you're gonna move them around, build something light. Check out the Chickshaw Justin Rhodes made.